You're listening to a Rowan Rooken Deckard actual play, and this is Till Death Do Us Part.
Hello, welcome back to our Heart actual play. We're playing with the Heart system, set in the Heart universe, with the designer of Heart and other people. I'm Kieron Gillen, he, him, and I'll be your GM today. Not your GM, you're listening. I'll be these people here's GM. Who are the players? Let me introduce you. Nathan, tell me who you are and who you're playing today.
I'm one of those other people who isn't Grant. Hello, I am Nathan Blades. He, they, I will be playing the one and only Velvet Monte Carlo, the witch who will make all of your dreams come true. You do not want that.
Okay, and Naomi, who are you playing today?
I am playing Heike with Snow Hands, and my dreams are coming true anyway, so fuck you.
Excellent. And Grant, whom are you playing today?
I'm one of those people who is Grant Howitt. I'm playing Castor Scrift, the vagabond junk wizard.
Excellent. And finally, Ed, who are you playing today?
I am also one of those people who is Grant. This is very confusing, but you can also find me as Edward Spence.
I'm so sorry, man. It's not great in here.
Oh, I know, my friend. I am Ed. I am playing resident sad boy Soil Clogs the Throat, known as Soil to his friends, an Elfir Deadwalker.
Excellent. And we're going to pick up from last time. Everyone has just murdered Auntie Grace. That's not the first image we see on the screen. We just see the darkness again. We kind of pull back and we realise the darkness isn't actually the darkness of the soil, the darkness of the heart. It's the darkness of Castor's utterly hungover eyes from several years ago. This is the day Castor got fired. You were some kind of mage. You were working or with some kind of mage, some kind of apprenticey thing, and you were basically got too high too many times and were gone. As this is the day your master had enough of. Castor, where did you wake up? In what state of disrepair the morning the master had enough?
I woke up on board a gondola on the canals of the Silver Quarter and one of the Penrose canals, which endlessly flows uphill in a circle. And I've been floating uphill in a circle for several hours as dawn breaks over the city and creeps through the windows.
That's magnificent. And Ed, why was the skiff on fire?
As Castor looks to one side, he would see that there are several poorly rolled joints just scattered across, but one of them, still hanging out of his mouth, is just slowly catching fire to a nearby alcohol-stenched bit of wood. It's hard to tell.
Nathan, which high elf of good standing has decided to party and get ultra high on all the ultra drugs and is lying similarly unconscious, pile of drug heap?
In the same skiff?
Yeah, skiff just generally collapsed.
Yeah. Grace the Radiant Voice, all hyphenated as Aelfir names are known to be, is also groggily lounging around on the other end of the skiff. One high-heeled boot is just gone. Who knows where it is? Whether their voice is still radiant after the sheer amount of various alcohols and tinctures they have ingested, it might not be true anymore.
And Heike, all this, of course, has happened. What was, of course, the thing that should have happened that morning instead of Castor's drug binge?
I think this is a political, multi-group governmental summit. So it was one of those, like there's a conference room set up, and there's a big map with, little ships on some, graphed acetate. And they were like, oh, these terrible things are happening and out there, and, we need to move people for support, and oh, what are we going to do about the lack of resources? And then just in it is Castor just on the floor.
When you eventually come to, what did your master actually tell you? As they basically said you to sling your hook.
Elfir make a habit of not directly punishing their servants, because it's uncouth, and they can get one of their other servants to punish their servants, But my master, gonna say it was Grace's uncle or grandfather or something. So I've also pissed him off by seducing Grace to a life of crime. It's actually a compliment when he beats the shit out of me. I'm a little bit proud But then he pushes me down the enormous marble stairs outside the High Elven College of Divine Magic, and these stairs are polished. There's like ball boys run out to polish my face blood off the marble steps and slot in as I collapse in a heap, and then I'm dragged off, a broken tooth, smile, and tears starting to roll down my eyes as I realise that I actually can't go back ever again. And they drag me off behind some sort of tasteful chinoise screen.
It's like, imagine the Master Quarter, you're not even a good drug addict. You're not a lightweight.
Yeah, like that's half the amount of drugs that he'd take. My master, it is nothing to an elf here.
If you're absolutely going to have to weep in despair in here, you could at least do it out of our line of sight. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot possibly get low enough. And you have kind of proved them right. As we pan up on you heading down the steps, all of you are kind of heading down, you know, like a London Underground, kind of like just those kind of steps. It's like that. But it's been heading down for like 10 minutes, and you're kind of drilling down towards what is kind of a mission. And have a brief kind of, let's have a brief visual of each of you, especially like, since we just introduced Castor's background. Castor, what are you?
Castor is an ashen-faced dark elf. He's quite tall, gangly. He's wearing 3 outfits, like 2/3 of 3 outfits laid on top of each other. A real sort of with-nail character. He's etching. It looks like as he's walking, he's tattooing something on his arm. But an awful lot of the technology down here and the shapes he's seen seem really interesting to him, and he reckons that you can probably hack something together out of them, which is me taking the minor rust and iron, which gives me the technology domain, and also lets me enhance equipment and make it unreliable and dangerous at the same time.
Are you a Skaven?
Kind of.
Yeah. That's great. All right, Ed, because Ed is probably as far away from the tiger-like corpse of Grace as possible.
Castor is uncharacteristically quiet, and as the junk mage continues on tattooing himself, I think this weirdly ethereal, skeletal figure moves behind him, sort of devoid of all colour, save for the gold of his prosthetic jaw and the half mask that covers his face. And even in the darkness, there is still the absence at the back of his skull. The hole that was blown through from his jaw.
Got like a silhouette you lit from behind and you can see the...
Yeah, it looks like the Grand Canyon, as he just looks down at Castor and... Are you alright?
Oh, sir, I'm wonderful. Couldn't be better. The wonderful news we received from that incredibly tall, beautiful woman. We're going! Don't you see? The heart wants us to go there! Everything's coming together.
Yes. And just reaches out to place a hand upon your shoulder before just rescinding it a little.
Like we both stop and look at each other for a second?
No, we don't do this. And
I appreciate it.
No, just you seem more inward than usual.
Yes, it's a dreadful surety has crept over me, sir. I can't wait to see through it.
All right. Well, don't look at your navel too long. Keep your eyes forward.
Very well, sir.
Great. By this point, of course, Velvet has maybe caught up a bit. Like, what's the visual on Velvet as they slump or down?
Yeah, Velvet on a good day looks like, I would say, a adult Wednesday Addams in Bard adventuring gear. That is to say, a gothic but well-kept padded leather with frilly black lace, deep skin, almost purple in the shadows. On a worse day like today, we can see part of her true nature, for the area around where the heart would be in her ribcage is torn open, not anatomically but metaphysically, revealing this swirling royal of crystalline frames and an ancient mummified heart beating there, pumping cursed blood through her veins. She runs a hand along the kind of, what I feel if it's like the spiral staircases in the London Underground tube station, like a brutalist concrete staircase. The heart is so ever-shifting and organic, but this feels, well, concrete. Too real, hyper-real in a space that is so intentionally strange and dreamlike.
This is a moment of the brutality of the spires down here, as you're kind of aware that spiked concrete is put at awkward angles, so if you fall, you'll probably be killed.
It saved money on worker injury cases.
Break a leg, you'll have to have time off. If they just die, you can hire them, it's that kind of energy.
Give a man a fish, he'll have a fish. Kill him, you'll never need to give him any more fish ever again.
That is very wise, Castor. And of course, Heike.
I think Heike is sort of attacking this with a renewed vigor. This is kind of hang the world. I've got to do what I've got to do. And I think that Heike is now going shirtless. I think that she has folded up her waistcoaty shirt thing and has put it away to keep it nice. And she's going ham,
A very die-hard situation. We are losing more items of clothing as we proceed.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the vibe, yeah.
You're making good speed. After all the weirdness, this feels really efficient. And you sort of see why people might want to go here and get back when there were people robbing it. And all of a sudden, you get there. The door opens up and it's just a small door. A really big knoll probably had trouble getting through it. That's the kind of the thing. It opens up and suddenly you're in an aircraft hangar the size of an aircraft carrier. Not that you know what an aircraft carrier is, but it's big. There's enormous space stretching out. You can't see any end of it. It looks like, if it's in the movie, you'll be you open the door and it'll be slow pan back until we can't even really see the characters. Stretching out in all directions are stacks of railway sleepers, arranged like brutalist artwork. The shunt yard, as some of you know, is where the trains of the Vermissian train project would have been kept, but they're definitely meant to be brought back and left here now that Vermissian failed. In actual fact, most of them be stolen or left all over the place or become dragons. All the other things that can happen.
It's a common problem.
Exactly. This is a problem with the British Rail in this way, that the amount of trains that become dragons is very real. And you sort of see warehouses, it's very low light, and people aren't really meant to be in here.
We want to find some fucked up train bits.
We need to make a
lure.
There's actually one problem. There's guards here.
Okay.
And the guards are enormous mechanical robots, which will attempt to murder you.
I don't think that's a problem. That sounds sick as hell. So...
But it makes it hard to do a ritual. So, the first question was, A, how are you guys going to pick which of the trains you want? B, how are you going to make sure you're not disturbed during this ritual, which probably involves some chanting, or maybe, because we're going to decide what the ritual is in a minute. So, I'm going to just leave you guys to roleplay with each other and sort of discuss it. What do you think? What's the plan?
Velvet pipes up. So, Castor, you said you'd been down here before?
Yes, once or twice. I ran with a crew of train thieves for a while. Very exciting. They'd steal the whole train.
Yeah, so does that mean that this goes up all the way to, Derelictus?
Well, theoretically, yes, you could ride a train from here to Derelictus, but the Vermissian doesn't run straight, as it were.
Yeah, it goes where it wants. I mean...
Absolutely. Just like us.
Yeah, no, I'd love to go where I want.
Oh, babe.
She throws the thought aside. I've not really interacted with the train much or at all.
No, it's fair. They're very rare.
Yeah. So we have to make a lure, since my auntie decided to explain to me in detail I couldn't work it out myself. Yeah. She pulls a face. But, it has to be enticing for the train dragon.
There are two main facets of a train's mind once it goes draconic. Well, sorry, three, actually. So there's hoarding, eating, and, love, shall we say.
And making beautiful little baby trains.
Yes, making those little, the ones with the handle you pull up and down. Those are baby trains.
Oh, yeah! I'm adding that to my religion right now.
No lies have been spoken here. This is all canon.
So I've got to presume that whatever ritual your gracious aunt handed on to us before she so strangely departed will attract the attention of the beast and possibly make this seem more real in some way, perhaps some sort of illusory spell. So we have to work out, do we want to give it something that it wants to sit on, or something that it wants to eat, or something that it wishes to befriend? Now, trains do eat other trains, and they also fuck other trains.
Okay, listen, I'm having a really weird day, but I feel like making a sexy train is not super outside my... I don't want to say wheelhouse, because it's not necessarily wheels as to say.
No, there's wheels on the train, and the wheelhouse is one of the sexiest parts of a train.
Okay, cool. So we're just going to make a really cool train. Yeah, okay.
I have to ask, from our perspective, if we are putting ourselves in harm's way, which realistically, and Castor, be straight with us, is going to be more dangerous for us? Will it be if the dragon tries to eat the train, or fuck it?
Well, the thing about dragon culture is that it's often a close-run thing.
Right.
They operate like snails.
I know we've danced around it, maybe intentionally, but you did give 3 options, and hoarding was one of them. Like Velvet sweating, trying to pull this into a realm that would not be miserable for her.
Yes, sorry, my apologies. A train dragon will want to sit on an enormous pile of valuable trains.
Right, so like a rare model? Because like train spotters are a thing, I assume.
Yes.
I guess they are looking
They paint camouflage on the trains to distract them from attackers. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So I guess we need to go and find what a rare model of train, a rare strain of train, species of train.
Sounds good to me.
You now realise the thing your aunt would have said is, and the most valuable train is, of course, the cafeteria train, because it's got all the food in. If you can actually find like as many of the pre-packed food for the Messian as possible and piled inside the train, the most valuable train carriage, that would also make it more attractive. It's like a burrito.
Finding the carriage C, I understand.
So I really like the idea of pre-packaged food. I also think if we like got corpses or fresh meat or something and packed it in there too, like a delicious burrito.
I think you have to stand up and get them dressed up, sit them on the seat.
Yes, good, brilliant.
And dress them very well as well.
we have to make it look like there's passengers.
Yeah.
Which leads to the question, where are you going to find food? Where are you going to find corpses? Or things that look like people? And where are you going to find a cool train?
There was a mention of work automata, like killer robots or what have you.
Robots are a kind of train.
Yeah, I guess I'm more asking in terms of like, so when they find an intruder, assuming you've run into one on your elaborate adventures with your...
I heard tell.
Okay, if they happen to dispose of an intruder, where do they like leave it? Do they just leave it there? Or is there like a deposit for apprehended intruders?
God, no, a deposit would be really convenient, wouldn't it? But no, generally they just spear the corpses on top of themselves to act as what they believe is camouflage.
I might have something that could possibly help if you give me all of 5 minutes.
Right you are, boss.
Velvet like puts her hands up like, yeah, okay.
Soil just crosses his legs, gets down on the ground, and pops a dried mushroom into his mouth. And placing 2 coins upon his head, just his head lolls back, and you just watch as he disappears in a mist of grey. As he disappears into that same strange corridor, and immediately taking the coins off, Rubidiot! Rubidiot! Come out!
He's not here.
Fuck.
He's gone somewhere. But there's probably more corpses in here you can find.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a look around. I'm going to see if anyone has become lost in the grey, whether there are any bodies that I can potentially bring back with me.
Or you can find any souls from people who've been recently killed.
Discern religion sounds like a role that you could do at this point.
Lovely, I'll do that.
I mean, what's more religious than being in an afterlife?
One of those is a 10.
Nice.
Ooh.
Generally, you're walking around the grey and you've come across basically a whirlpool of despair, and like they're kind of shaped by the horror of its death. And basically, you find the place of one of the Demisians, one of the first passage trains, the ones that went cray away. Oh no, they died, but they died every single point for every history forever. So they're always having died, which does mean that you can always take out their bodies from their time stream. If you want, you can grab all these people on this train at this moment and phase out of the grey with them and bring. It's like a ghost. It's like ectoplasm. You can take a rubbing of them and bring them back. Quite a few of them, like a train carriage full, if you want. Do you want to try that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just looking around at this whirlpool and... Come on, this way, follow me, come on, come over here, just reach out, yes, there we go, yep, oh god, there we go, okay.
Replacement bus service.
You touch the hands and you pull, and you slop out of the grey, back into real life, and there was about 27 ectoplasm dolls. It's the best way of putting it. It's like, when I say the best way of putting it, it's probably the best way of your sanity of putting it. They've got a face, for example, like they've seen something utterly horrific. So, like, it's the least popular, like, Barbie line ever. Saul came back to reality and they've come piling on top of him.
we have our passengers.
I'll start moving the Play-Doh corpses off you. They're sort of leaving milky trails through the air.
Thank you. Yes, so we have some bodies.
Bloody hell, sir!
Yes, not quite in between, but, and looking at one of the shocked faces, just, closes its agape mouth and, right, so, where are we going?
I'm going to find us a kick-ass train.
Whilst Castor starts nosing around, Heike, have you any ideas of what sort of thing you're thinking about to make the train prettier? Or, more awesome, or get these people some clothes? They're not naked, but they're not very well dressed.
Okay, that's fine with me. I think that Heike is planning on doing a mechanical mend type dealio. So I think Heike's plan is essentially, I think I'm collecting gears and sprockets. I think she's found a sack and she's collecting train bits. And my intention is to create a Looney Tunes style trail, essentially, to the train itself.
Oh, no, you don't need to explain. That makes perfect sense to me.
Great, cool.
I'm going to probably make you roll to find them in a minute.
No doubt.
What about you, Velvet?
Yeah, I think Velvet is, surveying for the killer robots that has set in her mind as the most dangerous measure. Unlike people who can be drawn into the crystalline fantasy of her true form, a machine is unlikely to, so finding a way to put us somewhere safe where we can work on it is what's on her mind.
In the distance, you do kind of notice occasionally searchlights moving at the height of a second floor window. They're not here yet, and the good thing, you'll see them coming, but they definitely have big search engines and steam coming off the top. As if, big kettle, big kettle. Castor, you're nosing around. So what's your attempt for looking?
I'm going to use my snoot. I'm going to try and smell the magical trains. So there was there was some sort of bound spell which kept things fresh. There was some nice. Everfrost or something which kept the car perpetually refrigerated. So I'm going to smell for Everfrost, which smells like menthol cigarettes.
Delve tech or discern tech? Either way, you've got dice.
Absolutely. That's a 9.
Nice. Okay, hard cut to what is a pretty carriage? What do you reckon a Vimisian food carriage looks like?
They modelled them after old-fashioned drow coaching inns or food halls. So they're wood panelled on the outside. They're almost like mock Tudor.
Oh, that's cute.
They've got a really inadvisable fireplace burning away in the centre. A lot of them were warded against theft, and again warded to keep things cool inside, which explains why this hasn't been stolen yet. Or the heart just keeps putting more in.
You finally locate one, and I reckon it's probably warded. I reckon she said there's still got some magical wards in there. You realise there's a blood splatter that probably used to be a person nearby on one of the doors. That's probably something you have to try to defuse.
Absolutely. I'm gonna rush ahead and do that immediately.
I think a cult and mend. We'll sit you there because I think it's a ritual. Because I want to leave people picturing there.
I start drawing chalk counter wards on the outside of the train.
Ed, is Soil who's carrying the corpses? Since you now know where the train is.
I think just in the background of everything that everyone's doing, occasionally just blurrily off in the distance, you just see there's a pause of around 10 minutes or so, and then back across screen. As just
one of the heads falls off and bounces down a hill.
And sort of Soil half-heartedly looks and reaches after it and never mind.
That's beautiful. I do like the fact that, Velvet, of course, is just watching all this, alert and ready for action.
She's the lookout.
Yeah. She's climbed on top of a stack of roiled and twisted iron rail to kind of get a big vertical viewpoint of this massive train yard space that we're in.
That's beautiful. Okay, Heike, you're trying to find some interesting mechanical stuff, yeah?
Yes.
What do you reckon? Discern tech would be my guess. Or delve tech, even.
Yeah, discern.
Cool.
Fine, shit. A 6.
That's a mixed success. 3 fortune stress. What does that take you to?
7.
Wow. Let's see if anything bad happens. Oh dear, you clear your fortune.
Wait. The first time you would take minor fortune fallout, avoid the fallout, and do not remove stress from fortune. Thrice warded, my bees are covered in glyphs.
Don't worry, just bees. There's a lot of bees down here.
What was that noise? Must have just been bees.
Wop wop. I'd like some cogs, please.
Basically, you kind of drag enormous, heavy, greasy cogs What's a good cog, do you think? What cogs do you reckon like an aortic leviathan like?
I feel like things with big, like, teeth. You know, the big toothed, like, cogs with the hole in the middle. And then pistons. I feel like they're really into pistons.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And how do you arrange them? Decoratively or like more practically around towards the train?
No, this is a Looney Tunes style trail. So they're like in little bits leading further down to entice. I will happily pile them into strange shapes.
I do like the idea of you finishing the Looney Tunes trail with like a bowerbird display.
And I've got a blue train car just in the middle.
That's good.
And then you spread your arms out and jump up and down as loudly as you can.
Yeah. I am the law now. I just go, choo-choo, choo-choo.
It's awful.
This is going to turn into a horror scenario very quickly, because this is getting very cute. Hard cut back to Castor, who is about to go and try to defuse the wards.
While this has all been happening, he's been sketching it out and, from intuiting cause all the wards are drawn on the inside, he's sort of intuiting them and copying them out on the outside and trying to break them. The weird thing about Castor is he's actually quite a good magician, but he doesn't once people know he's a good magician, they're much harder to take advantage of. It's kind of a private thing. I will see what I roll. He's replicated most of the important wards, and it's got all these chalk lines and charcoal lines where it's white on the mock Tudor frontage of the train, drawing up to the door lock over the door. He's going to get one of those enormous old-fashioned pistols, turn away, and then blow the lockout, and hopefully defuse the wards as well. So I guess this is something occult.
I would say mend occult would be my guess. I'm not sure it's me, but mend always seems also breaking, unmending things.
Oh, yeah, breaking it, yes. I mean, it's not kill, is it?
Yeah.
I am killing the lock, but I don't have that either, so let's see what I roll. Yeah, it's a 9, baby.
Hey! Oh my god, perfect.
Nice.
Beautiful shot as the door just goes shunk down, and then you're viewable in the silhouette through it. Probably smoking. I think we could probably hard cut to the actual train decorated on the inside. With all the corpses. Ed, do you want to describe what it looks like? What do the corpses look like? No, I keep saying corpses, not corpses. Ectoplasmic dolls.
There is just one final as this body is just flung onto the kind of faux leather seat that is like peeling at the side. You know, wherever there are joins, you can see like fluff and springs poking out. And Searle just stands back and his forearms are just covered in ectoplasm as he just looks out at these 27 souls, or 26 heads. One of them is sort of missing at the neck, and they're all... And he just looks at all of them and... does anyone want anything from the trolley? Or...
Really good.
And just looking out, he just sort of pokes his head out one of the broken windows and feels some of the glass just scraping against his neck. And there is a similarly pleasing sensation to when he was being stabbed by Skinners. And just, how are we looking?
I think we're looking, like, really cute. I'm not going to lie. Like, if I was a train, I would be, like, down for this.
The trail's in place. Velvet, you seen anything? I yell.
Velvet, winces or, does a throat chopping motion. It's like, no, shut up.
Someone's going to kill us, you say?
It's fine. It's fine.
Good stuff. You can come down now.
She leaps off a stack and surprisingly lands reasonably gracefully. No, we seem to be in a surprisingly fortunate stead, which is good. Right. The ritual's going to be relatively involved. It requires a bit of, how should I put it? A change of scenery? Yeah. Maybe even call it a blood transfusion of sorts. Just to get it within our domain. You know, gotta make it stand out, right? And I have an ability that I took, an advance that I took since the last session. Ascendancy. I know the secret of singing the city beneath into different shapes. I can roll Compel plus Occult to cast a spell and draw the heart itself into the area around you. So I want to essentially magically reshape this space, give a big magic circle glowing underneath the train car to kind of, activate it within, but let's make some dreams come true.
I'll grant you a dice as well with a cult.
Fabulous. We'll be rolling 4 then. Love that for me.
That's very exciting.
Oh my god.
Oh no. What happened?
That is a 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't love that for me. Okay. Is there anything I can do to not completely fuck this? I
That's
don't
all
think
right.
there is.
That's okay. That just doesn't summon the heart, right? We can still try and attract the dragon.
Or alternatively, it really summons the heart.
Yeah. But crucially, we both take stress now.
Yes.
I think both of you take D6 Echo Stress.
That's a D6 Echo Stress reduced by 1 to 5.
That's just 5 echo stress for me, Kieron.
Okay. Before you roll for Fallout for me, I am going to go and activate Crucible, rolling a D6 to see if it's equal or under my current Echo Stress to clear it. That's a 6, so I'd say I just increased my Echo to 11.
No.
Fuck my life, I guess. All right, hit me.
Both of you clear your Echo, actually.
Thank God.
Castor goes flying. He sits up. He's covered in buboes, which are basically, when they pop, they don't release pus, they release basically glitter. Sparkling, like, magical glitter. Anytime you take blood stress, you take an extra D4 as the boils, blister, and burst. The weirder thing is is Velvet. At the corner of your eye, you see someone who looks just like your mother starting to paint the floor in this way. And you turn and they're kind of there. And it's just like a memory of the person just right there. And they wave at you. Basically, you got the thing deja vu. You notice minor elements of your past life appearing in the heart as though it's reading your mind and adapting itself to your expectations. Suddenly, wherever you look, there's something small you recognise.
Oh, you poor thing! However will you get over that? I say, glitter bubo swelling in my throat like an allergic reaction.
There's one last part of the ritual. You've got to use a little bit of wonder to sort of remember it, attract this dragon. So I'm going to go around each of you and basically give me a memory from your character's childhood of when something was really magical and joyous. Let's start with Heike.
I think for Heike, we get a flash of Heike with another little knoll, and they're playing like Cat's Cradle, you know, like the string game. It's the first time in this entire series you've seen her fucking hands. She's got like big fuck off like claws and like big hands on this tiny little hyena-esque wolf guy, and she's playing Cat's Cradle. There's another girl there who's helping her with it, and she gets tangled up. And it's just this moment of being tangled up, and then look at this girl just laughing at her, and she's just like, oh no. And it's that first time being like, I think I like girls. This is really cute.
The camera pans round to Searle. What happy memory can you remember?
It is as though the camera moves over Searle's face and towards the canyon in the back of his skull before delving deep inside. And in that darkness, Searle sees a chrysalis just hanging from a very bitter tree. As a very pudgy elfir finger just moves out, brushing it before immediately just squashing it and just watching it just sort of slowly eke down his fingers as from behind he hears the voices of 2 individuals, older than he is, and he presumes they are calling his name as they and looking round, just running over towards them and skipping. It is as though the words that come from them, it's like they're underwater, this as they just present out of the darkness a gift, one that he accepts with caterpillar-stained fingers, as a golden mask is just placed in his young hands, and he just holds it up, looking at it like a mirror, and he sees his face.
What about Castor? Gives a happy memory.
You go, baby. We gotta go. Dad's saved up. I come from a middle-class drow family, and unfortunately, upon my parents' untimely demise, they were well respected enough for me to get a cushy job at the University of Divine Magic. But before then, we were a middle-class drow family, growing up in one of the scummier places in Ivory Row. And Dad saved up, and we all got together, and we got one of the new house goats that you can get. It was one of the ones. It was a super vertical buck. It climbs everything, and I remember it climbed all the way up to the top of Mum's wardrobe and started eating her scarf. And we all thought it was very, very funny, aside from Mum.
That's beautiful. And finally, Velvet?
A memory before she was inducted into becoming a witch although not too much before, maybe even a couple months before, her mother returned from spending a long time away. The job was kind of difficult to explain to Velvet at her age, but what Velvet understood is that she apparently went to the surface for a while to help people in some kind of complicated matter, but to Velvet's idea, it's like, oh, so she's going up to the world above to be like a hero. That's cool. And she comes back with a variety of various trinkets, what would be probably entirely mundane to Castor, but weird, delightful souvenirs. And a photograph, or a votive image, to use the wording of the book, of her mother and a group of drow standing in this like balcony with a large distance in the background and smiling, and you can see the sun. Velvet points at it and asks her mum what that is, and she explains and tries to describe what the sun feels like. The exact wording of it is not something that Velvet can remember anymore, but she would love to go and see the sun one day. Cut to her in her current, I think, mid-30s, and she never has yet.
We said a happy memory, damn you!
It was! The idea that the sun exists and can feel like that, and her mum has seen it, is genuinely a delightful idea to her.
The magic of the heart is sort of responding to people's memories, feeding off them, shaping. And you can see, like the front of the carriage, like starts to warp into a golden mask, which is shaped like Heike's first crush. Beautiful tiny goats dancing and painted down the side, like a children's carousel, in that kind of way, all the way down the side. And most of all, the whole thing is painted in a bright gold, incredibly beautiful. Light reflects it and dazzles you, like you imagine the sun would. So it's suddenly like a genuinely beautiful train. If you don't look at it too closely and think there's people aboard it, as opposed to, ectoplasmic dolls, and you remember pretty much the last instruction was, you make the bait, and then you wait.
We should probably find somewhere not immediately next to the thing to wait. If nothing else, there might be a patrol through here before our target shows up, so we should probably not be so exposed.
Can we find a sleeper train? An overnight sleeper train with some little beds in it?
I think you definitely can. Hard cut to a sleeper train.
I love a sleeper train!
You have to drive the rats out. Some of them complain quite loudly. You're frankly much bigger than rats, so it's easy to bully them out. This is suddenly the most standard RPG thing in the world. Is there any keeping watch and that kind of thing?
I am nervous because I'm worried that the spell didn't work, and also I'm having problems sleeping on account of these whacking great glitter buboes. So I'm probably going to sit on the step and chain smoke cigarettes, drawing everyone around to our presence. But also acting as first watch. I'm trying to be very sort of selfless about it.
From behind, you would just hear, "Do you mind if I join you?"
No problem, sir. You might want to... Sorry, I've popped on one of the... hang on a sec, and sort of scrape some glitter pus off the step. Yes, no problem. As he sits down, offer him a still smoking dog end smeared in glitter.
Sort of like precariously placing it between the prosthetic lower jaw and the top lip. There's just a very tentative... And as he exhales, you see that some of the smoke actually extends from all around the joins of the prosthesis, just out from the mouth and around the throat. And
That's a good trick. You should take up smoking.
were you always in the city beneath?
No, I'm from Spire, sir. I'm a drow. I'm born and bred in Ivory Row. But of course, my adventures led me down here after the society decided that I wasn't the sort of person they wanted to spend time with, so I decided to make my own fortune down here in the blistering tear of unreality, sir. I like to think I've learned a thing or two.
And you are teaching me many things, for which I thank you.
Teach you smoke rings next if you'd like, although you really need lips for that one.
Yes. I feel a kinship with you, Castor. I feel two souls cast down.
Yeah, me too, sir. Exiled from so you were kicked out as well, eh?
Well, I was shot through the head, yes.
Yes, you chose your own path, let's say, eh, sir?
Yes.
The best bit about this, for those of you at home, is watching the deep sincerity of, you're just like me, and every single player just being like, nah, I don't. And everyone's just like sitting sitting there with their expressions like,
Look, Soil is about less than a year old.
This is absolutely perfect for Searle. It's great.
I think he's truly just trying to find some kind of meaning. For his consciousness has only really been since Castor has found him. And I think he is trying to hold on to literally any, threads that he has. And I think just looking at you, I shan't keep you for too long. I just wanted to make sure the rest of the rats are out, but...
Oh, no. I know one of them. It's fine. We talked it out. A little joke, sir. A little joke.
Oh, yes.
Don't worry.
Ha ha
It's fine.
Yes,
It's fine.
yes.
And the jaw judders and goes side to side.
Well,
You get some rest, sir. Big day coming up tomorrow.
yes. A dragon heart.
Can I have a discern roll from you both? Or roll together as a help roll, or roll separately? Your choice.
I'll roll. Is this discern technology?
Yeah, discern tech or discern desolate.
I'll roll 3.
9.
All 2s.
Oh.
You're about to go in. Grant spots an etheric light, which is just floating beside Soil, as if someone is about to shoot with some kind of weird high-tech sniper rifle.
Right, okay.
At this moment, Soil hears a shout. Save the genius! This voice of a slightly young Althea. Castor, you're the one who can really react in time. Do you want to try to take cover, or do you want to try to save Soil?
I'm going to lunge forward and try and knock Soil out of the way. And also, as it turns out, get inside the train carriage with him.
That sounds really smart. That's evade technology?
Oh, pair of ones, Kieron.
No way.
Pair of ones right in the spine, mate.
We're not even hitting, risky checks that are removing our best. We're just rolling like dog shit.
You know that bit at the end of Butch Cassidy and the Kiss where they run out and get shot? This is the opposite. You're trying to run inside the building to avoid getting shot.
And neither one of us looks like Robert Redford.
Yeah. More Robert Denford in this kind of way. Okay. Grant suffers 11 blood stress.
Okay, that takes me to... No, that's okay. That puts me at 13 overall.
And, oh my god, Searle, you suffer 8 blood stress.
I'm also on 11, baby.
You soaked 2 of it, right?
Oh, yes, true. So I would say as, we're both shot, I think after this moment of genuine sincerity, as Castor just lands on top of Soil and the bullets run through, it's just like, why'd you even fucking bother, Soil? Fuck.
Arseholes. But you're both inside, having a shot. I'm going to roll for your fallout. The first is Searle, because you're on 11.
9 now.
9, yeah. Right, you're fine. And Grant is minor fallout, Grant. So you've got clear blood again. As well as the D4 blood, you suffer D4 mind as well. Because it's so disturbing.
What shot me? What happened to me?
A lot of things shot you. Basically, human tech again. You kind of end up recognising it. It's a very similar sort of things to the guns that shot you for the people who were trying to hunt down Soil previously. But to us, the slightly better tech. It's Ptolemy Bay's high-end equipment. And they're basically the people who are hunting down Searle to try to take him out. You're now both lying on the side of the door, bleeding heavily, but alive. On the bright side, Heike and Velvet just woke to the sound of gunfire. I reckon bees get up quicker than witches.
Yeah, science.
Heike, what do you do with the gunfire?
What can I see outside?
You see 3 heavily armed soldiers moving across the darkness in kind of close formation. It's kind of a bit like an Xbox shooter. They're moving. They've they've got the impression they're in the wrong game. They're wearing heavy armour.
You can just say they're wankers, it's fine.
Chest high walls?
I'm a writer, I use subtext. What are you going to do, Velvet?
Velvet, upon hearing gunfire, more cautiously peers out of the probably now blown out windows of the sleeper car to see if she can even see the thing that is trying to shoot us.
It's testing these 3 kind of Rainbow Six button fantasy motherfuckers.
Yes.
But you've definitely got an angle on them. You see some lights approaching as well.
Yeah, I think I might try casting Ascendancy again. This being such a mechanical place is so outside of Velvet's operant wheelhouse. The only way she could be useful is to change the scene, change the environment. So we're going to go roll Compel plus Occult one last time and see whether I get got again. Oh, that is actually a 10. Good. I was due. The karmic cycle continues.
What do you do to the environment? Tell me.
The area we're in now gains the occult domain and reacts appropriately. Magic circles blossom on the floor, from a dark power, etc. We established before that one of the signifiers that an area is close to the heart is a very gingerbread house kind of situation. Organic matter, trees and stuff bloom that are not made of fruit. Immediately, the rust looks more like frosting. The air begins to kind of fill with the scent of gingerbread. Rubbery tires and stuff that they're hiding behind turn to deep licorice wheels as this place slowly starts to just reek of sugar.
Everything smells sweet and sticky and treacly and delicious. This is coarse enough to freak them. They kind of fall to their knees. They look back at their own person they've shot. It's like, is this your doing? Send one back to, finish them off.
Out of the body of the person who fell over, now like a daffodil kind of like blooms out of their chest, made of lemon slice, like candied lemon slices. It looks at them.
The situation is like one of the people is going back to probably finish off the person they shot a bit because they think it might be him. I think Heike is still probably the person who's most active now if you want to do something.
Bees! Fucking bees!
What are you going to do with some bees, Heike?
I upgraded my bees to D6, release a swarm, and also they get the brutal tag. So I would just like to death by bees, if that's okay. And I got a roll to hit, so it's now occult.
Yeah.
Occult, I have kill, and I get 1 for doing it.
3 dice, yeah.
10.
Fuck yeah. Roll 2d8 and tell me the highest.
Well, the first roll was an 8, so...
One of the bees takes this person down hard.
Wrestles him mano a mano.
The bees form a homunculus. The homunculus just starts socking him.
What does it look like when your bees kill someone? Do they rush down their throat? Is it a...
Yeah, I think it's an orifice type death, unfortunately.
Oh boy.
It's the classic death of someone who's heavily armoured with bees. It's kind of like the natural enemy. The scream, the awful scream of someone died of bees is going. And this action is enough to kind of break them, because the person's really not sure what's going on. Castor and Searle are properly getting up now, as in you're kind of starting to pull together. Where's your head at?
I got shot a bunch, you say?
Yeah, basically it's a load of wounds. Like small wounds is the thing.
I drop to the ground to try and find the wound to apply pressure, and it's all just this glitter, and it's all over my hands, and it's laughing. It's cackling. I can smell how much it's laughing. It's really hard to concentrate with how strong it is. I stagger to my feet, pull one of the hand cannons out of my coat, and stumble over to the window to try and line up a shot on one of these guys.
What's Searle doing at the same time?
Searle is just lying there, looking up at this weird, bleary shape that is now pulling out a gun and moving towards one of the windows, as stood above him, and probably visible to anyone who would look, there is just a beautiful Elfir woman just stood looking down at him, and he just sort of smiles a bit and reaches up, and you can see that his lower jaw is sort of slightly hanging off, but as he reaches up to her, suddenly she just out of the door of the carriage, and I'm going to use my Grim Reaper ability. My Death personified becomes a ranged weapon of kill D8. 1 shot.
Nice. I would say everyone's lining up for this, and it's the moment. Basically, everyone's got the weapons lined. Your bees are ready. Heike, Velvet's like summoned this awesome battleground. Castor's got his shots ready. It's also going to be this gunfight. At which point, quicker than you would have believed, this enormous creature comes stomping in. It's like you saw it at the distance, the light, and it just rushes in, and with 2 piledriver hands, it's like tin can being squashed. Blood goes flying out the side of these 2 things. This screen is enormous, like 5 times as big as a human being.
That's what I'd like to hear.
Thank you. It smells of engine oil. It's got an enormous train whistle on the side, and after it kills it, it goes woo, and then it moves over to the next, like the other person killed by bees, and that, and then it's starting to go for the other person who was injured. You can carry on hiding in the hut if you like, because I don't think it spotted you yet. Or you can try to save this person.
It would be a lovely moment as if like you're reaching up towards your death head, and she rushes off, and then your vision snaps back in, and Castor's pulling you up to your feet. Thrusting a spare gun in your hand.
What do I do with this?
And then stumbles off towards the window.
What do I do? What do I do?
Point at them and shoot! cover doesn't matter so much anymore, but I definitely feel I'm safer indoors than outdoors. So that's kill technology.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy, that's a 4.
That's a fail, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a fail. So not only do I miss, something goes dreadfully awry. But I don't have any stress in the moment, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm going to give you like a D4 fortune fallout. Actually, D6, I'm lying because you're here. And you get 1 fortune fallout. Searle.
As everything comes very clear, Searle looks out of the carriage and just sees that his death has just disappeared into nothingness. And I think he's just going to, all right, and pulling the hammer back is just going to shakily just hold it in both hands. This frail guy, the kickback is gonna fucking suck as he just like points it out the window.
He shoots the gun one time and kills himself immediately.
Did I manage to hit the thing, but it just bounced off, or is it more that it went wide?
Part of your bad notice is like, hit it and bounced off. It's a hard. Yeah. Even you have trouble missing this target.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, if a heartless is trying to distract you from killing the kid, it failed in that tactic.
The kid?
Yeah, but it's like definitely younger than the other ones.
Oh,
you don't know how. Yeah. I'm saying kid as a kind of. You don't know how young the person is.
I'm going to try and shoot this gun.
It is rules as written. It does wife damage.
So I'm assuming kill.
Kill tech.
Kill tech. I don't have tech, so that's just 2 dice.
If you have a cult, like you're in a cult zone, you can use a cult.
Yeah, I'll add that. That is an 8.
So it's an old-fashioned dueling pistol. It's D8 damage, and if you roll 8 damage, don't. That's my advice to you.
Okay, try not to roll 8 damage then.
3.
It hits, then bounces his arm, but it's noticed the shot. It's got thick armor, this has. It's got protection 3.
Oh no. Castor! I'm just sort of bending down.
And then it kind of just goes... like, but footing the found, and it's now starting to Donkey Kong its way towards you. Velvet. At least you're not in your fancy train. That would have been awful if this thing destroys them.
Since the person who called out to kind of give the game away and then was shot incidentally, and they are on something resembling death's door, considering how weird the space is right now, do we get an intent from this person? Do they have a dying wish? Because that will maybe... I don't know whether Velvet off the back of things would be like, I'm going to go and save this person who was rocking with people who tried to shoot us or not. But if there is any kind of sign from this entity...
I get the impression that Velvet's a pragmatist, and so like they might know something, which could be useful. And they're certainly interested in something.
Yeah, with that kind of like in mind, it's like it's so difficult to find allies with this deep. Somebody who was risking their lives to inform us clearly is doing so for a reason. And she leaps out of cover of the sleeper car and tries her best to move towards, snaking through this space towards the fallen informant, transforming into the true form as she does so. This is much more, especially since the heart is already exposed in her chest, it's a much more bestial version of this transformation. Still abstract, crystalline shapes, but almost ape or lizard-like on all fours crawling through the space. I'd like to roll Hunt in trying to make my way to this target.
Hunt sounds really good. Yeah. Hunt a cult.
Yeah. That is, in that case, a 6.
I'll give you fortune damage. 6 fortune damage.
Oh! I'm going to move that to Echo. If I move it to Echo, it then does it get then reduced by 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It doesn't kick in. It's kind of had to go really close to it, is that thing. And you can definitely aware that big burning light. It definitely was looking for you, and you managed to move quickly beneath it and get it. It's young. It's an Aelfir. Quite young, so it's hard to tell with Aelfir. He wears quite a simple mask. It's a gold mask. It's well made, expensive, weirdly mass produced. It says the word Ptolemy Bay 72 engraved on it.
Ah, it's brand, I see. This guy looks up to basically see a 4-legged figure of roiling ethereal glass, basically standing immediately over them, looking down, if it had a head to look.
And he sort of looks at it and says, I'm sorry.
Why are you here?
They're trying to take him back and make sure, he stays underground. But he's a genius, don't you understand? He's the man who defeated death. I need to learn from him. I have to learn from him. He's the greatest there ever lived.
I don't think you want what he has.
And I think actually that's where we're going to end it. this desperate plea as this enormous machine is stomping towards the carriage. Yes, and I'm going to say good night and pass over to Grant.
Thank you for listening to yet another beautiful episode of the Heart Podcast. I have been Grant Howitt. You can find me on rowanrookanddeckard.com. You can find all of my wonderful games, and tonight I have been joined by Naomi.
Hi, I've been Naomi Clarke, and you can find me at Naomi Thinks It all over the internet. You can find my show at The Kilder, and you can find me playing more RPGs at Realms Pod.
Wonderful. Go there. Nathan?
Hi, I am once again your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. You can catch me on the Campaign Skyjacks podcast as the pirate captain Ormar Vale. You can also, if you are interested in playing a wide variety of tabletop RPGs, try some of mine. You can get hold of them at theneoncaster.itch.io. Thank you.
Edward?
And I am Edward Spence. You can find me at Edward_Spence_. I am a very happy forever GM and game designer. You can find some of my work over on Wounded Warrior Project with the Fourth Age, our imagined next chapter in Middle-earth's history, or you can find me on Stella Luna's channel, where I run the award-nominated Beyond the Brook, a beautiful autumnal tale about 5 children lost in a mysterious wilderness known simply as the Backwoods.
And finally, Kieron.
KieronGillen.com is the best place to link to almost everything. You'll find me mainly at the moment on Instagram, where on stories I'm doing pictures of towels and talking about towels. This is my life now.
Solid follow, folks. See you next time, folks. Bye.
Farewell.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Till Death Do Us Part, a Rowan Rook and Deckard actual play. This episode was produced by Naomi Clarke, with editing by Maddy, Searle, and Oliver Moore. The theme was by Nick Seatman, with additional music by Kai Pritchard. The GM was Kieron Gillen. Searle was played by Ed Spence. Velvet was played by Nathan Blades. Castor was played by yours truly, Grant Howitt. And Heike was played by Naomi Clarke. If you'd like to learn more about Heart, the City Beneath, and our other fine role-playing games, go to rrdgames.com and buy something, why don't you?
Okay,
and then
cool.
talk to them for 5 minutes during a gunfight.
Grant, I'd just like to say some of the abilities I've got are very time dependent.
Absolutely, you're a wizard.
6 hours.
It's ritual casting, mate.